It was supposed to be an ordinary night in a quiet Ohio neighborhood. Inside one home lived a respected dentist, a loving mother, and two young children sleeping peacefully under the same roof. But by morning, one adult was dead, the children were completely unharmed, and investigators were left with a chilling question: how does a murder happen inside a family home without waking the kids, and without leaving any obvious signs behind? Stay with me, because the truth behind this case is far more disturbing than it first appears. Most true crime cases leave behind obvious clues like forced entry, witnesses, or visible signs of violence. But the most unsettling cases are the ones that appear completely normal on the surface. This is one of those cases. A respected Ohio dentist and his wife seemed to be living the American dream, with successful careers, a stable family, and a quiet suburban lifestyle. Until one night, everything collapsed. This video is based on verified reports and official records. No graphic details are shown, because the goal here is understanding, not shock. Tonight, we break down what happened, what investigators uncovered, and why this case shocked not just Ohio, but the entire country. From the outside, the family appeared stable and successful. The husband was a well-known dentist, trusted by patients and respected within his community. His wife focused on family life, raising their two young children and managing their home. Friends described them as normal, friendly, and loving, with no public arguments, no police history, and no visible warning signs. That is exactly what makes this case so disturbing, because statistics show that the most dangerous place for a person is often not outside on the streets, but inside their own home. On the night of the murder, nothing appeared out of place. No neighbors reported screaming, no alarms were triggered, and there were no immediate signs of forced entry. Inside the home, the children remained asleep, completely unharmed. But their mother did not survive the night. By the time authorities were alerted, the situation had already crossed the point of no return. Investigators quickly realized one critical fact: this was not a random break-in. When first responders arrived, the scene felt unsettling, not because of chaos, but because of how calm everything was. The house was intact, valuables were untouched, and there were no signs of a struggle involving strangers. Most shocking of all, the children were alive, safe, and unaware of what had happened just hours earlier. This immediately narrowed the investigation, because when children are left unharmed, investigators often begin looking inside the family circle first. Police began asking difficult but necessary questions. Who was the last person to see her alive? Who had unrestricted access to the home? Were their marital problems hidden from public view? Was someone living a double life? Investigators know that behind closed doors, relationships can be very different from what friends and neighbors see. Appearances, they understand, can be dangerously misleading, and the detail that would later become most important did not come from the crime scene at all. As the investigation continued, attention naturally shifted toward the husband, not because of rumors, but because statistics show that spouses are often involved in domestic homicide cases. The dentist cooperated with authorities, spoke with police, and maintained his innocence. But investigators do not rely on words alone. They carefully analyze timelines, phone activity, financial behavior, digital footprints, and subtle changes in behavior. Slowly, inconsistencies began to surface. Modern investigations do not stop at the crime scene. Detectives examined phone usage before and after the incident, deleted messages, financial stress, hidden transactions, search history, and location data. Often, it is not what someone says that reveals the truth, but what their data quietly exposes. In this case, investigators uncovered information that painted a very different picture from the one presented publicly. Every homicide investigation comes down to three things: means, opportunity, and motive. The most difficult question in this case was motive. Why would someone harm their spouse while leaving their children untouched? Behavioral experts and prosecutors explain that in many domestic homicide cases, children are viewed as extensions of the offender's identity, while the spouse is seen as the obstacle. It is a chilling psychological pattern, and one investigators take very seriously. As more details emerged, public reaction shifted from shock to disbelief. Patients struggled to understand how a trusted dentist could be connected to such a horrifying case. The community demanded answers, and the legal system began moving forward. What started as a private family tragedy had now become a public case with serious legal consequences. Lost behind every headline were the two children who went to sleep with both parents alive and woke up to a life forever changed. Experts emphasize that the damage caused by cases like this does not end with arrests or trials. The emotional trauma can last for years, and sometimes for a lifetime. This case haunts people because it destroys a comforting belief that danger always comes from strangers. Reality is far more uncomfortable. Sometimes, the threat is already inside the home, quiet, familiar, trusted. So here is the question to think about: how well do we really know the people closest to us? Share your thoughts in the comments, subscribe for fact-based true crime stories, and remember, awareness saves lives.